What made your marriage end? For me, it was a Tuesday. He came home, ate the dinner I'd made, set down his fork and said, "I need you to sign some papers this week and I don't want any drama about it." The papers were for a divorce. 31 years, and I found out between the pot roast and the dishes. I asked him why. And my husband, a man I had nursed through a knee replacement 18 months earlier, sleeping in a recliner beside the bed for 6 weeks so he wouldn't have to call out twice for water, looked at me and said the sentence I'll never unhear. I've been done for 15 years. Divorce was just expensive. The house is paid off now, so the math finally works. The math. 31 years, and I was a mortgage clause. He packed a weekend bag that night and went to his brother's. At the door, he held up his key ring and asked if I wanted him to keep a key for emergencies. I held out my hand. He actually laughed. "How am I supposed to get in?" "You don't live here," I said. "There is no version of my house that requires you in it when I'm not home." The look on his face told me everything. He hadn't planned on losing access to anything. He'd planned on a divorce the way you plan a kitchen renovation, disruptive for a season, then everything arranged the way he liked. I want to tell you, I fell apart, and privately, for a few nights, I did. But some part of me had been quietly filing evidence for years, and once the shock burned off, the file opened. The signs had been there, dressed up as ordinary disappointment. My last birthday gift was a card signed with just his first name, like a co-worker leaving the branch office. The year before, he'd given me a case for a phone I didn't own, the model he wanted, which he bought himself in March. And yes, the case fit it perfectly. He'd started calling my part-time job at the library "your little errand," and there was a second phone charger in his truck for a phone that supposedly didn't exist. So instead of begging, I made 2 appointments the next morning, a family law attorney at 9 and our bank at 11, where I moved my half of everything into an account with only my name on it, exactly as the attorney instructed. He came Saturday for his things. I sat in the good chair with my tea and a British mystery and did not lift one finger while he wrestled boxes. He genuinely, sincerely asked if I could help him carry the television. "This is your project," I said. "I don't work on your projects anymore." Before he left, I mentioned pleasantly that my attorney had advised him to be careful about spending marital funds on third parties while the divorce was pending, since the credit card statements would all be discoverable. The sputtering was operatic. But here is the part that truly enraged him. The part he repeated 3 times like it was the actual betrayal. "You hired an attorney? Why would you do that? You know I was always going to take care of you." 31 years, and he still believed my safety was something he'd be handing me in an amount of his choosing, like an allowance. The proceedings took 14 months, because men who announce that the math finally works tend to discover, in mediation, that the math includes things they forgot. The paid-off house he'd waited for, sold, proceeds split. His pension, built entirely across our marriage while I raised 2 kids and worked part-time, split. The judge awarded me maintenance until I remarry or one of us dies. And I heard his attorney tell him, in the hallway, in the tone you'd use on a child who touched the stove, "I told you to settle in March." The third-party phone charger, by the way, belonged to exactly who you think. She attended one hearing, saw the maintenance figure, and I'm told the relationship did not survive the math. I'm 64 now. I live 4 hours away in a lake town where nobody knows him, in a small blue house with a dock. I keep tomatoes and 2 absurd chickens. My daughter visits monthly. My son calls Sundays. Their father sees them when he manages to be pleasant, which I understand is intermittently. Last month, my granddaughter asked why Grandpa doesn't live with me. I told her the truth at a 6-year-old scale. He wanted a different life, so I got to have a different life too. Mine has chickens. He waited 15 years for the math to work. Funny thing, it finally does, just not for him.